feel those drops in my window pane. Lets me know that I'm still here. When the sun comes out, I will go outside. When it breaks through clouds, I will give a smile. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Times I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and I lose empty floors up, and when I cry, I can see this city through my watered eyes. Lets me know that I'm still here. When my eyes clear up, I will go outside. I'll imagine you're still by my side. Lets me know that I'm still here. Sometimes I want to run away, to find good times again, to find all my old friends. Run away, to the nearest place where I'll find all my old friends. Times I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and good times. I said good times, find my friends again. I said I wanna have good times, good times, find my friends again, and
Doing here, going into site. That is a wild bug. I think that's related to how I'm scaling my screen actually. But it's only on some of them, which is weird. So this is site. Let's hit start.
I try to get by, something that I'm not into. My
So
mind
let's see
is
what we've got
paralyzed.
here.
Don't care, I just might pack my bags and take off tonight.
That's weird. Maybe it's stuck in the yarn lock. Not being required by anything, so... Oh, it's gatsby-mdx. Maybe it's not up to date. Yeah, yo, last night was tough, man. It's going better today. I'm gonna do some digital garden stuff and then convert .org to MDX. It's gotta be in garden, right?
Don't need a lot, I'm good with changing my pocket. My way ain't perfect, it's mine, so that seems worth it, right? Don't need that pressure from ya. No need to put that on me.
Rerun that.
Just need some fresh air to breathe.
Yeah, it'll be really good because I think Jason and a couple of the other people been really waiting for that because there's a bunch of things that need to be done that really can't be done well or maintainably without MDX. This is the error that I wanted to see in Garden, so that's cool. And it's in project. Oh, it's in a bunch of them. Dang. That's in portfolio. That's in Garden. We're not actually supposed to go into site. Let's go into source templates. Check note because I remember that being one of them. And then portfolio, I'm assuming in the templates as well. It's nice that there's a little bit of a standardized structure for these templates and stuff because I haven't worked with portfolio yet, and it's nice that it's just the one thing. Blog. Cool, I think that's it. Oh, right. I think I have a remote on this. Cool, so that should be fine. John will merge that eventually. Let's move on to .org. .org will take a while. So I already did .org technically, but it's, I don't know, like a month out of date right now. So I think I'm just gonna ditch the old changes and do it again. Time to go work on categorizing the stub list on .org site. Nice. That's awesome. Yes, if you want to use it, it is gatsby-mdx. You're going to have to use the RC release, or the RC tag. We're planning on releasing on Monday. We were going to release today, but I got sort of stuck yesterday, and I want to get .org merged before we do the 1.0. So it's going to go out officially on Monday, but the RC is out right now. The big change is that well, I'll also have to make the PR to Gatsby repo because we're moving gatsby-mdx into Gatsby itself. Yeah, the big change is the... Oh, I'm not on the right branch, that's why. Schema customization. So I redid the entire, got rid of the set fields on GraphQL node type and moved to calling the create types in source nodes. So now we actually have some MDX types and stuff here, which is kind of cool. We use the build object type instead. I don't know. I think I did it right. Oh, that's the other thing. I need to give a comment here first. So this is really cool. This is in theme UI. And Jackson's taken the create element approach that we've been using in a couple different projects at this point. I feel like everybody on the team has now written a custom pragma. But this custom pragma has styled system by default, which is really cool. And you just get it. Like, everything just has it. So, you don't have to actually like say, hey, I'm gonna go use styled system, you just get it. Which sort of allows us to make some assumptions around things in the future for other related things, like site builders and whatever. But yeah, this is really cool. It's really interesting because he's basically taken a couple of different create elements. The system one, which I think he wrote here, the emotion one, which is JSX, and the other one, he also tried MDX. So the MDX create element. Just in React because it's React. Committed a Vim save file. The interesting part is that I think we end up calling create element for React at the end of this anyway. And I think that may be the reason that all of these compose together and work. I have not tried composing them actually myself. I talked a little bit about it with Jackson, but that's about it. And yeah, so system. System uses the CSS thing, yeah, cool. So we're basically layering these, right? So we've got on the bottom, we've got emotion, and emotion takes the CSS prop off the elements and deals with it. And before that, we have system processing, and system will take the CSS prop off of it and then convert it to a different CSS prop that accesses everything through the theme context, which is really cool and a really amazing way to do this. And he was saying that the MDX create element function worked as well, which is super interesting. Which, following the logic that I just laid out, makes sense, because then it would be MDX decides which component to render, system decides how the CSS prop translates into like a raw CSS prop, and then Emotion just applies the CSS prop. So that's really, really cool and really powerful. I was actually a little concerned when I started using create elements that they wouldn't compose well. So I'm really happy to see that it's all working out quite nicely. Put some thought into using that's the other thing, like we wrote the MDX create element function. If I can spell more over here. We wrote the MDX create element function so that it would work for MDX files alone, but because we wrote it as a create element and because we wrote it sort of like generically, it just sort of works for any React element, which is really, really cool. Cool. So .org. This will be a thing. How many commits do you think I have here? Probably one, right? Oops, that's not. 3. We'll just reset head 3. That should be fine. It'll stash everything because we don't really care about it anymore. Dang, I just did it again. Back. Yes. I think, I don't know which one it is. Upstream? Sometimes I forget to do upstream. There shouldn't be any merge commit. Perfect. So yeah, there's been 600 commits since I did this PR. So yeah, let's start by just running it. I forget if this is. Yeah, no, Gats, like, I don't know. I feel like I've been around very large open source projects for a while now, so like the pace of Gatsby is actually even slower than other projects that I've been a part of, but it is like absolutely wild that you can organize that many people to get code in that quickly. What do I need to do here? I don't know if I need to... I don't know if this is part of the workspaces or not. It's just packages, so it's not. So we'll do a yarn here. Make sure this all runs. It'll take a while to build out the screenshots, so might have to find something else to do in the meantime. I guess I can just take the numbers off of... Oh, that's interesting. Ah, 6 hours ago, that's why nobody has noticed yet. Yeah, these thumbnails would take even longer if I let them all actually pan out. I'm basically gonna run this 3 times. Man. It's that Malik issue we hit yesterday. See if it has any sharp dependencies that need to be updated. Yep, Gatsby transformer sharp, and it looks like it was approximately the same level of out of date as yesterday. That's annoying. Let's see if it's actually just a sharp transformer, I guess. I don't know if it's the sharp transformer or the let's see if that works. It's unfortunate because I want to run this like 3 times to see what the timings are before I switch over to MDX. To make sure that we're not like blowing up the build time or something. Should probably just submit a PR for this. Yeah. I'll do that after this is done place holding. I don't know what they would want this to be changed to, though. Yeah, do you know what we should change this to, Ben? Because it's just that, like, do we just escape it and put it in, or? I wonder, it's probably on the blog right now, right? It is not on the blog right now. $4.19 today, right? Yeah. Maybe it just didn't get built yet. Oh no, you know what it's probably doing? It's probably failing. That's why. I don't know where to look for the www build though. There's no badge here for me to click. Where is it? Circle CI is passing. Do you know if this is like Netlify or something, or like is this on Gatsby preview, or I don't actually know how this gets built. It's a lot of stuff. Let's go older. Looking for something that ran like 6 hours ago. On my branch, I'll probably just remove the colon. There we go. See, so it's not that. That's really annoying. Really not a Sharp fan. Here's Gatsby plugin Sharp. Maybe that's the right one to upgrade. It's passing CI, so we must not have any tests for this. Goes through circle and is deployed to Netlify. Oh, so the site is built daily. It's not built per commit. Got you. That could be weird. So this is the one, and it would have been. Wonder what tests are run. Yeah, those are just component tests. Those are not relevant. Okay, well, let's see if this fixes our Sharp issue. Oh, right, yeah. That makes the most sense. I'll get that done here while we're waiting for this to install. That's one of those weird things about YAML, I think, where you don't have to use quotes until you do. Or like your numbers aren't octal until they are. So at least we'll have it fixed locally now. Maybe I can just, well, I'm on a weird branch now, so nah. I'll go do this in another window. Of course it already exists, because I've already done this. Yeah, if you want to handle it, you can totally handle it. Doesn't matter, I can do it too. I have to wait for these screenshots to generate anyway, so. doing this then. Yeah, I really don't think there's anything we can do to .org that will slow this build down, because it takes screenshots of like literally every site in the showcase and everything. And really it does all those through a Lambda, so what happened to that thumbnail count? Why did it drop and then restart? Oh, those are page queries. Wow, so yeah, page queries take 2.5 minutes. I mean, to be fair, Gatsby is a pretty massive site, but oh. Can't peek value table for type invalid, which is not currently referenced. Yeah, sure. So it definitely is sharp for whatever reason. Doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Don't actually know what Fuse is yet. That's all of the... Maybe the screenshot transformer needs an update. I do remark images too for kicks. Although remark images probably can't go up to 3, it probably has to be at 2, so we won't do that. This is really not good. I feel like this is kind of hilariously every time I stream lately. There's like this bug that just won't go away, and I can't get done what I'm actually going to get done. Let's upgrade yarn for kicks. Let's also I think it's alias default. Okay, that's gonna take too long. I don't care. The other thing I can do is just start converting this because I already know what I'm gonna have to do. Nice. Because it already merged. Did I miss the merge? Well, I guess I can always come back to this commit and test it. It's basically going to be a lot of manual changes. Like, I already did it to 0.20, so. It's going to be a lot of this kind of thing. And then there's one or two, there's one where we're using remark rehype, something like that. So, need to deal with that. I actually don't know if the cache is getting written out because it's crashing. So I don't know if the page queries are using the cache or not. $2,000 page queries. Alright, well. I am, I guess, not going to wait for that. I already know the neat changes that need to be made, so I'll just start making them. Then I'll push it up and see if the CI passes. This is going to be everything that we need to change. Except we don't want whatever this file is coming from, I think it's cache or public or something like that. Actually, this is a lot less than it was, unless it's doing the capitalization, therefore not picking some up. There we go. So this one we can get rid of. We'll need gatsby config, gatsby node, doc block, a couple other files, some templates, and then we should be good to go. I feel like this is less than the last time I did it, but maybe not. Let's do this. Maybe less is going to be better. No. I really just want the regular output piped into cat or less or whatever. Oh well. Start at the bottom. Remote packages. What are remote packages? Remote packages. We might want to keep these as remark because we might want them to be closer to GitHub. I don't really want to change all the files to .mdx, but I don't know if we want to change everything to MDX. Take a look at what this is. What is unbird? So this is all of the readmes for all of the packages on npm. So we want to keep that as remark. Because that matches with GitHub's processing. Yeah, keeping the MD file extension would be better. The problem with that is that I think that's going to cause Markdown Remark to process all of the files in addition to gatsby-mdx. Right, like there's no way in Gatsby to tell this plugin to not recognize the data or not process the data. This is just the type. Right, that's not what I need. I need on node create. So on node create, we only care about markdown content, but all of the content that comes in for MDX is also going to be markdown content. So we're just going to double process everything. That's not fun. We'll have to fix that. Yo, and this malloc thing is really not fun to deal with. I have no idea why that's failing. Yeah. I think the first pass on this is just going to have to be double processing everything. So these sharp changes didn't change that malloc, so I'm going to get rid of them, I think. But we can't even test to see if this builds, which is really annoying. React. I think that's all we need. Yeah, so we're gonna have to add some API to tell Markdown Remark to not process .md files, I think. Because in gatsby-mdx we do some stuff so that you can do that. Okay, so remote packages we're not going to touch, so let's go to template docs markdown. So we rename this to page. This is going to be MDX. This is going to be body. I don't know what markdown page footer is, so we have to look at that. Relative path on file, that's fine. Don't need to do anything there. This is gonna have to be MDX renderer. I think one of the weird things is going to be that this MDX renderer is for fragments now, actually. Where's HTML? Get page HTML. Okay, let's go find out what get page HTML is. This is something that I would want to test. So we've already run into something that we need to change. It was going to take a little bit longer than I wanted to. So they're looking for the string HTML and replacing it with another string of HTML. We're going to have to write a plugin or something for this. We can get the table of contents for this document, but I'm not sure how to translate it directly into the child items by slug. Yeah, this logic is going to have to change. We could make guide list a component, but really what we're doing is processing the file and then inserting it back into the same file, which is awkward. If we turn this into a remark plugin, it'll run on every markdown file. We can get the table of contents and construct this, I think. But I have to make sure that the links don't break. Sub-items for page, sub-items for page comes from... child items by slug, child items by slug. That's docs hierarchy. So we pull in a YAML file. We pull... So is this actually just a React component? So we get the page. The page is slug in the hierarchy. And the sub-items come from the YAML file. So yeah, I think this can be a React component that we stick into these files instead of guide list. How many files is guide list in? All of them. We will use a guide list component to do this, I think. I guess this is just importing a YAML file, so we can just import the YAML file into that component, and we'll replace it like that. And then the front matter in MDX files becomes a slug. So we can just access the front matter from the MDX file and replace this guide list. So let's get started with that, I guess. We'll put this in components, and then it'll be guide list. I think that's the only thing that uses docs hierarchy here. And then yeah, we don't actually want to get this function isn't going to be get HTML for us anymore. It's going to be just a React component that returns it, and then we're going to use that in the actual content. There we go with grouping the stub. What do you got? Nicely done. That looks awesome. So that's the entire stub list, like all of the possible stubs that somebody could sort of like this is going to change its location. Nice. That's dope. What's this? This is data sidebars, so up one, actually just the same place. That's nice. And we will take all of this. Oops. Is the current state live for the stub list on? Yeah, nice. That's awesome. So this is going to be our component, I think. Got this right. Equals. This takes the entire page. So we're just gonna have it take the slug. Oh, that's in fields though. It's generated. That's annoying. Okay. I think because this is all static, that's okay. We just pass the slug in to the MDX renderer. We can get rid of this. The MDX renderer takes page.fields.slug, and that'll come in as slug to our MDX file, which means that we can access it via props.slug, which means that we can pass it into the other React component. So this will be MDX. Everything else will be fine. Slug, sub items per page, so we don't need to change this logic at all, I don't think. Sub item to link. This is creating like HTML, so we're going to change this to React components. This goes like that. That will go like that. We don't need to join these anymore because it's just a list of components. I guess we should check the length on this. So if there is a length, then we take this H2. I guess we're gonna have to put this in a fragment. I'm just trying to translate it as directly as possible right now, even though it looks kind of weird. Null otherwise. Capital offense. Yes, sure, why not? It's a capital offense. And we'll just return the talk down here. that should be fine, I think. What else do we have here? Docs hierarchy, which we already import. Result gets everything and it's fine. Guide lists. This is a bit weird of a React component construction, but I'm trying to make it as similar as possible to what we had before because I can't run it right now. And I think that's fine. And then at the bottom we just export the guide list. And now we need to go through and actually update all of those files with guide list. That's not fun. Let's make sure that this is all set up correctly. I think we're fine here. I think that this MDX stuff will be fine. We're good. And then, yeah, so now this is going to be a little time consuming. Docs. Winning over stakeholders, winning over clients, winning over developers, winning over marketers. Where's winning over stakeholders? There we go. Okay, so guide list is going to be here. And then slug is going to be something like that. So we will actually have MDX in these files. And then one thing that I want to do before we get too far on this is that we actually need to wrap the root of the site. What are we? Gatsby, SSR, Gatsby node. What do we have here? On render body. Maybe I should do this one off. Could create a new file. We're gonna do this in both files though, so I'll just do it like this. Oh, we don't have a Gatsby browser. Interesting. So we're gonna do the same kind of thing here. Wrap root equals require. We're gonna pretend we have this file here for now. Cool, now we need to create that file. We will need to figure out what that API looks like, which I always forget. I think it just has element. Yeah. So we don't need to really do anything here. We do need to import React, so I'll just scoop this whole thing. Thanks for the follow, Jay Luis. take that apart, and we will take the MDX renderer. Oh, not renderer, provider. MDX.js/React. Get rid of these create stores because we're not actually using Redux here. We're going to create an object called components that I'm just setting up there. Components. And this is a really cool thing that we just introduced in MDX 1.0. Where do we think this file is? Is components there? No, it's source components. Guide list? Okay. That's really cool. So I just switched my Emacs config recently, and I got the autocomplete for the file system, which is pretty nice. Yeah, so basically we've created guide list as a shortcode, which means we don't have to import it in each of the files that we're about to edit. We just let it be, and it's just there. But I think I exported this wrong. Because this is going to be the default export of this file. Cool. That's how we imported it, right? Yeah, imported. Works for me. So now we need to change all these files to have this guide list. And it's always going to be the same. Actually, because it's always going to be the same, we could probably just do sed for this. Do I want to do sed for this? Yeah, it's Spacemax for sure. It's Spacemax with the Gotham theme. And then a couple other things that I start adding. Like, Spacemax doesn't have prettier for some reason, so I add prettier and things like that. So I don't really want to change all of these by hand, so we're going to use sed. And my sed is not amazing, so I'm just going to go back to one of the things that I have done in the past and change it. I think that'll cover all of the files. Are they all in the root? That'll make it easy. Nope, we've got contributing up here too. So if you haven't used sed, especially on OS X, this is how you set it up. Basically, you do sed-I, you choose a backup file extension name. So these will, it'll basically copy them over. It'll be like docs winning over stakeholders.md.bac or BAK. And then it'll apply the thing that I'm about to do here. I think these need to be escaped. I'm not entirely sure, so I'm just going to escape them. And then we're going to do bracket needs to be escaped too. think that'll do it. So let's do our ACK for guide list again. And then all of these have changed. So we didn't just spend 2 hours swapping guide list for guide list. And now all of these are done. And we can use like the git diff to check. So you can see the guide list just swapped for guide list. And all of these are just like a million different guide lists swapping. Set is really great if you haven't used it before for things like this. So let's commit that. See this all of these back files we need to get rid of. Because the thing we actually want is correct. And it's touched like everything, but it didn't change everything, so it created a backup file for everything. And now they're all gone. So if you've never used the double splat before, that's how you sort of select every file under a directory, no matter how deep it is. Okay, so that's the first change we needed to make. My head blocks a lot of the CLI down there. Okay, I can change that. Let's do this. I'm gonna be middle for now. Will I be middle? Let's move me up here. Why not? I don't move that far. So now I'm just a floating head. Yeah, I need to figure that out. I usually keep it over here, but oh, MDX renderer not defined. That's not good. Cool. So I think wrap root element just got to change. Nice, it swapped out return. That's cool. MDX renderer is not defined. Where did I didn't import it over here. Body is not defined, right? Because body is now page.body. Missing key prop for element and iterator and guide list. Okay, so let's deal with that. That is 24, so it's the LI. I think we could do title plus link or something like that. You think slug is unique? Hey Lemur, how's it going? I thought you were Ben because the names are the same color and approximately the same length. What do we use for the title here? I don't actually know what's going to be unique. The slug probably is unique, right? Let's check out what this YAML file has actually, because I think that'll tell us. Data, sidebars, doc links. Data, sidebars, doc links. Okay, so all we have is title and link. I could basically just hope that these are not. I don't think these are never going to update because they're coming from a YAML file, so I'm just going to use like the index. Hopefully we will get dope. That's awesome. I'm not sure that slug works here. So the thing that I don't want to do is I don't want to write in slug as the key and then somebody in the future who happens to be like a content writer and isn't associated with the code doesn't know that if you put two slugs that are the same, that they turn into the same link and don't show up. So I want something that we can't depend on the slug being unique for like quote unquote business case reasons. And I don't think we definitely can't depend on the title being unique because it's just, that's not supposed to be unique. See what else did we do here? Added MDX. Oh, also wrapped the root. I think that's all we did here, right? Cool. So that's that. I'm fairly confident that code will work. Let's do the ACK and see what our next one is. Again, we're not doing remote packages, so we'll go. We probably shouldn't do local packages either, just to keep them on the same level. We could do local packages if we wanted to. Let's do the contributor page next. So markdown remark will be MDX. not used to the small. So Emacs has configuration to treat this as a word boundary, but I don't think not my current Spacemax config. Yeah, it doesn't treat it as a word boundary, so I need to set that at some point. Blog post preview item is something that we will need to look into, it looks like, because we pass in the entire node. And components. Blog post preview item. So we'll leave that for a second. This is sharp, YAML, fields, markdown, remark. This is what we want. MDX. I get a kick out of this song where it just says space flute and then goes off. So that should be fine for that stuff. And then we'll go over here, and this is going to access like HTML somewhere. Or not. We don't query HTML, do we? Excerpt, front matter. We do not. So this is fine. We don't need to do anything here. Cool. So we'll go with the blog posts next. Doesn't look like the HTML is used here. Alright, let's just... And it should be. There, HTML AST. Ooh, that's interesting. We're gonna have to look into why that is. Yeah, HTML AST is interesting. Render AST. What does render AST do? Yes, this is the rehype react thing that I was talking about. Okay. It looks like we're trying to insert a couple of components here. That's, I want to keep these in view, so I'll create another pane. Where do we think this is going to be useful? Let's go docs, blog, and then we're going to look for, what is this thing called? The HubSpot form. So it's used in exactly one place. What about date chart? So date chart is in a couple of different places. Okay, so it's just a bunch of date-ish content. This is like kind of a React component. We might need to do some capitalization here. but there's only like 2 usages of it, 3 usages of it, so that'll be fine. And then what's the other one? Pull quote. That is not the command that I wanted to do. If I can spell. Okay, so pull quote is used in a bunch of different places. We might want to capitalize this just for like consistency purposes. In reality though, we don't actually need to capitalize it because the way MDX shortcode replacement works is that it doesn't need to be capitalized. Also, let's check while we're here to see if there are any pull quotes used as like just a literal word. Because that could make doing this a little bit tougher. Nope, we're good. So we'll be able to do a said thing like we did before for all these pull quotes. And then we can hand it at the other 3 or 2 or whatever. Where's render ASD? There it is. And then we won't have to ship the entire compiler to the browser. Where's rehype react? It's important. Yeah, there we go. We won't have to ship the entire rehype react thing to the browser, which would be nice. So let's go back to our wrap root. And let's add to our components list. We'll add HubSpot form, date chart, pull quote. I guess pull quote is lowercase, so that's fine. We'll have to import these. I think that this will... No, we need to go source components here. Yeah. Cool. So those should work now. We'll have to change them in the files still, and then we'll get rid of this. Because we don't need that anymore. Oops. Render AST won't be a thing that we need. We will need MDX provider here. Or not provider, renderer. This will be mdx.body. That is the okay, so that should all work. And the last thing that we need to do is remove rehype react because we're not using it in this file anymore. We could probably also remove it from the entire project. I would bet that there isn't another place using that, but the other thing, yeah, so let's get on with our sed here. We're going to do basically the same thing we did before, except instead of all of this stuff, we're going to do just a simple pull quote. And since we looked for this before and found that there were no other pull quotes, this should be fine, and then we shouldn't have a problem with doing this. See, so now all of our pull quotes are uppercased, which means that we actually have the components, which is dope. And because they were working basically the same way with render AST, we don't really need to test them or anything. We do need to look for the HubSpot form again and the date charts, and those will both need to do the same thing. I think we can do the same thing for the date chart that we just did for pull quote. Except for we're going to want a date chart. Date chart will be gone. We should see a bunch of date charts. Yep. And then HubSpot will be the last one. And we can actually do the same thing because we will be a bit. Since we're using set already, why not just use set and not even actually open the file? Dope. Now we need to do our remove again. And we'll get rid of all those backs that we didn't want. And all of these files have been edited because... So we just saved ourselves a bunch more time. Let's see. So that's that. This is HubSpot form, date chart, pull quote. I think we can handle this. We'll need to re-add the ESLint stuff. Chart is defined but never used. I just crashed Emacs. It's fine. What were we looking for here? What file? Let's see, wrap root element. And template blog post. Yeah, for the stub list. Yeah, I know flow, the first time I did the MDX. Wow, is it always just the first? That's amazing. Let me see if I can just reopen this again and it will. Nope. Okay. Well, we're gonna work with it for like this for a second. I think the issue was we didn't import MDX renderer. Of course it stops there. Why wouldn't it stop there? That's so weird. Okay, so that's that. Now we need to hit wrap root element too. Yeah, these can all be named whatever we want them to, so we'll just name this date chart and we'll name that. And that'll be fine. Interesting. Locale compare? I don't think that I've ever used that. What other forms to be? Date chart to what was the last one? Pull quotes. What else did we do? I think that's it. Partial support as far back as IE6. Dang. I don't really support IE anymore in any of the work that I do, but that's nuts. Why is this blog post still green? That's gonna be really annoying. Maybe I can just get rid of... I don't know how to do buffers less CXB in Helm. Let's kill you. Jesus Christ. This is the worst bug that I've had in my text editor ever. Okay. It's only the first file I opened to, which is super weird. I'll just GC amend that to the last one because it's meant to be part of the last commit. Cool. What do we got next? Blog list. Let's see, where's Markdown Remark being used? It's just a bunch of list of things. Probably not using HTML. So I think we can just replace think that's going to be the rest of these replacements are just going to be that kind of swap. Oh no, we use HTML here. We're going to have to use it there. Pretty happy with the progress we've been making though. The only thing is that Markdown Remark is going to try to take ownership of all Markdown files. Ooh, and we need to, because I didn't edit the config. I think that's all we need. We're probably also going to want these actually. This is going to be kind of annoying, I guess. Gatsby remark. Actually, I think I can just do this, paste that in, and then rename it up here. Okay. What do you mean found some errors? Cool. What are we on next? Tags, source, templates, tags. So it's got Markdown Remark and Markdown Remark in the query. Blog post preview item. Preview item probably doesn't use HTML. Components, blog post preview item. It does not use HTML. Excerpt fields, front matter, cover. Yep, that's expected. So we can just do a simple replace string. Then the index page. We're gonna have to check out posts data. Let's check the query to see if we get homepage blog post data. Wonder where that comes from. That is in components, homepage blog post. Okay, so it adds another fragment into another fragment. So this is going to have to be MDX. Wonder where blog post preview item comes from. Is it the same one we touched before? Okay, so it's in blog post preview item. Hooray, no HTML. Okay, so that gets that for us. This needs to be MDX.
Take my hand, hold it tight. Promise that you'll never let me go, even when we fight. Wrap my arm around you, girl. I promise I won't ever let you go. I'm holding on for life. I gotta know how you feel about
Cool, that's good.
so many different emotions.
What else do we have here?
I gotta know what you do.
Markdown remark, blog tags.
I think what we got going on is something special, yeah. I want to wake up with you by my side.
See, it just has some grouping stuff, so I think we're good. There's a query here. Yeah. I think we're good just replacing this. And markdown page footer.
Nobody else I would rather be with but you. My heart doesn't seem to be mine anymore.
Same thing.
It's with you. I get weak for your love. Won't put no one above you, baby girl. I got you.
PI reference.
Tell me what I wanna hear. That you'll always be here. You won't let nothing come between us now. I gotta
On documentation.js. Ooh, that's gonna be fun. These are both HTML. Looks like we're rendering it into a doc block. So these both need to be deprecated. Oops. So let's start with this over here. So it's going to be child MDX. Going to be body. It's not going to be this. It's not going to be that. I messed that up already, actually. This needs to be that. Body. Okay. Then we need to import it at the top. Cool. No more mentions of HTML either. Good. So that's that. This needs to be fixed. Okay, I think that is good for that file. No markdown mentions in here, right? Yeah, cool. And the PR is up. Let's see. Let's check out this PR. I saw this purple pop up and I was like, it's already merged. What? Grouping stubs on stub list. Nice. This looks nice. I like the fact that we are going to have a stub list, because I feel like there's a couple like hidden links in here that you'll just click them and then you won't get any anything, and you'll just be like, hey, that's exactly what I needed. Oh, it's a stub. So it'll be nice to have that. Gatsby-mdx. I didn't even know that was a thing. Let's check that out. That looks fun. This is interesting. I guess that they're... Ooh, 50K. Nice. We're gonna lose all of those when we transfer to the other plugin name. It's okay. Oh. That's fun though. Wonder if it's on the second page now. It is. Where are we? Let's see, 1, 2. Wow, this scroll wheel is not helping me. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're like top 30. That's cool. Let's see. We have Gatsby node and Gatsby config to finish up. I think I can commit this though, because these are all similar. So these are just name replacements basically. So I want them to be reviewable in the same commit. See, config and node are the two that I said, right? Yeah, config and node. Config is easy. So we actually need to do both of these. Yeah, I mean, the top plugins are viewable in that list, I guess. I checked the gatsby-mdx one, not necessarily for the download numbers, but because the README page sometimes doesn't get indexed by Algolia. And so I just go in and I check to make sure that it's still there. And every once in a while I count down like that and I check to see which number it is. But for a while, like, Algolia wasn't picking up the download numbers for gatsby-mdx. So there were a couple weeks where it just like stuck at like 25K or something like that, when it should have been at like 40 or 50. Config. Okay, and this is Gatsby plugin feed. Yeah, if I'm gonna check stats on gatsby-mdx, actually, I'll go here. Right. So I think this is, yeah, this is the New Year's bump. And then we sort of just like, we get these bumps and bumps and bumps. This has got to be, I don't know what that is. But like there's 14,000, so we could cross 10,000 at some point. 10, 25, 30 or 40. So like these three together are like 30 or 40, which makes me think that like all of these, rest of these together are not 50, but it's fine. Doesn't matter. See how we're doing in 3 months. It's cool. So we're sitting pretty nice at like double downloads over the last 3 months. That's dope. Let's see, where are we? See, in the HTML here, I guess this does need to be HTML. I don't know why I changed it to body, but this is allowed to be HTML. It's the only thing that's allowed to be HTML. Breadcrumbs for all pages in Gatsby docs. I did not see that, but that is also very, very cool. You've been doing a lot of work on those docs lately. Yeah, they definitely need that at this point. They're getting pretty massive, and it's pretty not super easy to navigate them if you don't already know what you're looking for. This is a massive Gatsby node file. All markdown remark. Oh, this npm packages that's supposed to be markdown remark. .387. Blog posts are supposed to be MDX. .534. Docs are MDX as well. So these are the calculations for we might as well send all Markdown and all MDX through this processing, I guess, because published at and things like that are going to be similar. I need to fix this ESLint plugin thing that's making all these red squiggly lines all over my editor. So as screenshot, there's author YAML. So anchor, slug. Happen for all. Yeah, add slugs for package readmes, definitely. So this is going to be either one of these. Yeah, I spend a lot of my time on the deep internals, so I totally understand what you mean. And sort of like contributing to the docs is definitely more user facing, whereas like building themes and stuff like that takes a really long time to be user facing. I actually have a blog post on that topic. It's basically like open source reward pathways. Like, do you want to get impact as soon as possible and feel the reward of like having helped somebody with a docs thing immediately, or like the longer term sort of reward pathway where you build something like themes or something like that, or gatsby-mdx, and it takes months for people to ship these things into production, right? Like I started building gatsby-mdx last year, and now a ton of people use it, but like nobody used it when I first released it. And the docs, like if you do a docs change, everybody uses it immediately. I think this works, right? If the type is a markdown remark, actually I'm going to make this a single thing just to be clear. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for the follow. Why did I capitalize includes S? Yeah, so that should work, right? If markdown, remark, or MDX array includes the node internal type, and it's also got a file parent that we go through. And I think that's everything. I think that's actually everything that we need to convert, as long as it works, right? So I'm gonna push this up and see what happens. Nobody else will have touched this, so I will push this up. I don't know why I went to Twitter. That wasn't what I needed to go to. gatsby-mdx, also not what I needed to go to. That's how much I check Twitter. I just habitually hit T when I'm opening a new URL. It didn't pull it up, so I need to go find it now. Maybe I already have it open. Do I already have it open? Please already have it open. Yes. Cool. So there's a bunch of things here now. Why do I have 2 commits here? That's weird. I have no idea what these tests are going to do. But we'll check them later, I guess. That was most of the work that I needed to do anyway. And what I was hoping to get done on the stream. What else do we need? I can probably ship a new release of gatsby-mdx. It's the kind of thing who are regular devs versus dev advocates. One is working hard behind the scenes while the other is more user-facing. Enjoy dev advocacy side, but when I need to hand it off to somebody who knows the internals, I can talk to Michelle or other people in the core team who are on the internal. Yeah, for sure. It's definitely really nice to be able to just be like, well, I get both sides of it, right? Because I do a lot of writing and a lot of like video production and things like that. So I understand the advocacy side as well as sort of the internal side. And for me, they're just sort of different. But the internal side needs to be more internally motivated, if that makes sense. Like you need to find your own reason to push forward internal stuff because you won't see results for months. Otherwise, you can do like developer advocacy is sort of more immediate. You can like immediately talk to people who just watched your presentation or whatever. Or like picked up your example repo and then actually built a project with it. Cool, so I don't think there's anything else I need to do really. I need to write a blog post for the Gatsby plugin MDX 1.0, but that's going to be a weekend thing for me. See if John merged the garden repo. PR. He did. Huzzah. Published. Yeah, let's do that. Let's update my blog to use that instead of the weird version that I'm currently using. Where's the theme? Yeah, let's get rid of the vendor repo for the moment. I don't think we need theme UI in our package JSON anymore here either. Because theme UI is a dependency of, well, maybe I'll use it for my other things. I don't know. All right, let's get rid of node modules. Make sure we're using version 11, and we'll do the install. This can be done. We can move this over. Yeah, the schema refactor took a long time. And that's like deep internal stuff for sure. Yes, that's fine. I mean, you can upgrade. So we have the old version of the digital garden right now. It should show up again here. This will have the code stuff. And should be able to ship that change to production. Yeah, the schema refactor stuff is really, really cool though. So like, there's something about the nature of sort of that deeper work that enables a lot of stuff later that is really satisfying, because then you can sort of like, if I sneeze here or not, because then you can sort of take pride in that for many years, I sort of feel. Like the theme stuff and the code that I wrote for themes is going to have a really long half-life. At least in startup world anyway. So, and like the code that I wrote when we rewrote Docker Hub lasted for like 4 years or something like that. I don't know. They're just different. And I think it's mostly a time span thing. And there are things in like gatsby-mdx where I can fix a single bug or write some docs, and then it's more of the short-term stuff. But like, the entire library itself is a much longer-term effort. Cool, so this works. I think everything's working. Perfect, and the other bug went away. Oh no, the other bug didn't go away. The other bug is still there. Yeah, the V8 stuff, I like, yeah, he's awesome for doing that. Let's see. This broke. Okay, why did this break? Cannot read body of undefined. I think I just broke this. Oh no. Did I forget to fix that? I thought I did that. There's post, there's project. Project. Oh, tell me I did the one for, oh no, there we go. So there's the query and templates. And I didn't check the component, I think. This is the component, right? Yeah. Damn. So close. Let's do it again then. Check out templates. We'll check out the package JSON. Yeah, I made the change locally and I forgot to do it up there. I wonder if I can even push this repo. I don't even know. All right, so that's that. Who broke this? Who wrote this shitty code 6 months later? Ah, it was me. Oh, that is definitely a programming thing. Cool. I think that might be it for the coding stream today. I don't really have anything else to do or go over. I have some blog stuff that I need to write, but I don't really have more bugs to fix right now. Let me just see if there's anything on gatsby-mdx that's worth going into. I think we've got everything basically. The only other thing that I need to do is rebase gatsby-mdx on current master and then re-release it for the next RC. But I think that's fine. This is closable. We merged that PR. This is going to be closed when we release 1.0. Actually, technically this can be closed now. Default page query can be added later. Default export detection has been fixed-ish. The options we should look into, but I can do that later. And this is something that I would like to do, but I haven't gotten around to. And then just more components to build. So I think we're in a good place for 1.0 on Monday. Especially when the org stuff is finished. Oh wow, did everything pass? Ben, everything passed. I didn't run any of the code. Well. Oh, dang. That's cool. I wonder if tests on Windows will pass. That's really cool, though. That feels good. I think that's a good way to end the stream. It looks like... Ha! I wonder if John's just sitting in chat watching right now. Let's pull this down before I end stream. And let's hope I didn't forget another one. I probably should have checked the other component. What if I don't want to wait until the build's finished? Refresh my page now. There we go. So everything should be fine. Let's check my massive post. Yeah, I need to put keys on that. Got some warnings, that's fine. Blah, 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 everything's good. I need to change some of these styles, I think. They're not... there we go. Nice. Notes on schema customization. Notes on traffic. I like this. Ooh, those don't line up. I want that line to line up with that dot. Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to get that, but... I need to figure out what that bug is, too. This thing moves up and down so slightly. And I'm wondering if it's because I just didn't put border box on something. Yeah, thanks, Ben. Oh yeah, I'm gonna close off the stream now. I'm done. I'm just sort of doing random stuff now. And put my face back down on the left side. Have a good one. Thanks for hanging out.